And welcome back, everyone, to the final part of What If Sasuke Was a Girl? Now, I did respond to a comment a little in the last video. Someone basically kind of gave their disappointment with the way that Sasuke and Naruto's relationship had played out. I'm gonna find the exact comment. I'll paraphrase it quickly. And hey, look, did I go as in depth with Naruto and Sasuke's relationship as others would have? Probably not. But that being said, I am saving the bulk of that shit for that shit. I'm saving the bulk of it for this part right here. This is where we're gonna get a lot more of the actual relationship of Naruto and Sasuke coming to a head. But what was the actual comment that was made? Because I had commented against the point. Because they said I got confused with the point they were making about the issue they were having with the Naruto Sasuke relationship. To sum it up, the pairing doesn't matter, but if they weren't to be paired, the amount of interactions and character growth would be almost night and day with the original. Or sorry, if they were to be paired. Well, yeah, but I'm sorry, Sasuke in this fanfic, and that's when I basically am going to stop right there. Now I will actually say, you'd also made a comment saying that Chiais are basically ride and die for the people they love. Once they find that one person, they don't look for anyone else in that way. Examples are Sasuke and Sakura, Itachi and Uzumi, and Obito and Rin. Okay, that is examples, and I technically can't disprove that, but at the same time, you're using the example of two traumas. The fact that two of them ended up killing the person they loved and were just emotionally scarred to death. And then one who was emotionally screwed up in the head and had to get through everything else just to find the one person that always was there for him. I don't feel like that's a really good use of the example for Chia's being ride and die for that one person. But the thing he said, first off, Sasuke in this fanfic. It's not a goddamn fanfic. Okay. I did, and I think I mentioned it. Every once in a while, I need to have viewers wrap their head around this. What ifs are fanfics? Fanfics are what ifs, and what ifs technically are fanfics. But there's a staunch difference between the two. A true fanfic you can do anything in. But the what ifs, they all are wrapped around. They're all derived from the single change in the story, whatever that change may be, and then the outward changes that come from it. I could make a fanfic when Naruto and Sasuke's relationship are a lot more in depth than maybe going on dates, all that, before Orochimaru ever happens. That's a fanfic. This is not that, and I just feel like when people are watching it and they make these comments, they're not understanding what this is, at least in terms of the rules that govern it. But as for the pairing, if they were to be paired, no, not necessarily if they were to be paired, their growth would be different. Yeah, maybe they get paired, but you don't know when they get paired up. You don't know when the actual feelings happen. So a lot of events could go the same until that change happens. For example, like I said, in the last one, I had to retcon something real quick. Sasuke, kind of like how Sasuke fell in love with Sakura when she offered to go with him and abandon the village with him. Sasuke in this version probably fell in love with Naruto when he protected her from Shikaku and Nagara. So, and we're going to see a lot more of that headway here. We're going to see a lot more of that in this last part. Because unfortunately, without Sakura being as obsessed with Sasuke in this version, she just leaves the village. Like, there's nothing that stops them from leaving here. But yeah, so I understand the disappointment. I understand it, because maybe you wanted something else to happen. But you have to understand that your expectation, what you're thinking might happen, can't be what you're expecting to happen, I guess is the best way to put it. And again, this isn't I'd write fanfic if it was a fanfic. It's not a true definition of a fanfic. It's just a fanfic in spirit, because it is a story being told with a change to it. So, yeah, but like I said, in a real fanfic, I can do whatever I want in a real fanfic. Here, there is a rule. I have to govern myself by the changes that are occurring. So anyway, with that being said, I do also need to retcon one other thing. There is one change that I didn't bring up in the last part. Heavy, and specifically, Sasuke's relationship with Karin. See, Karin had a major crush on Sakura to the point where she was going to rape him in his sleep. No joke. But here, Karin is it's probably more like just, not a lot of women in this organization. We need to stick together, respect, all that. I do think it just comes down to something more akin to that, definitely. But I do think she still agrees to go with Sasuke. And so she's there, and she's more like Sasuke's confidant, maybe even as close to a friend as possible, although we know Sasuke would be more than willing to take her out. And so we would actually really, in this case, catch up to the Kage summit. Now, before we do, they hear that Sasuke attacked the cloud, so there would be that still interaction of Naruto and Sakura hearing about this. Now, keep in mind also, Naruto's promise to bring back Sasuke is not something he makes to Sakura here. Because that's one of the big reasons. I mean, he still wanted to bring Sasuke back, obviously, but he made a promise to Sakura. And that's why something's going to change very heavily here in just a little bit. But Sakura and him hear this, and they're just thinking about it. And so Naruto's eyes are very just heavy, and just like, and he's just thinking about it. And it's like, Naruto, it's like, Sasuke, it's like, is she gonna, it's like, I don't know, Sakura, but I swear, I'm gonna bring her home. And Sakura looks at him and is like, Naruto, I have to ask, how do you feel about Sasuke? What do you mean? It's like, you know what I mean. Do you love Sasuke? And Naruto kind of like, his eyes go a little wide. And he has to think, and he's been thinking about Sasuke all this time. And about, the thing, how they kind of came up. And the feelings he had while she was there. And he gives a straight answer. I don't know. But the next time I need to see her again to answer that question. But first, I'm going to bring her home. I promise you that. And so him and Kakashi and it's not Yamamoto, it's Yamato. They go off. They obviously to interrupt the Kage summit. Now Danzo still gets elected the temporary Hokage, all that, and most of what's going on there does happen the same. However, a very large difference here is that Sakura doesn't come to try to persuade Naruto not to do it. Why? Because it's like, Naruto, I love you. It's like, you don't have to chase after Sasuke anymore, blah, 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 blah. That's not, Sakura looked up to Sasuke here. She saw her as an inspiration and a role model, and then obviously trained more with Tsunade. Now leans probably more towards that, but still very much values Sasuke as a friend. But this is not a scenario where Naruto made a promise to her, and it's not a scenario where she's in love with Sasuke. So she's probably not there. So it's when we get the re-interaction, let's call it, with Sasuke and Naruto, with Kakashi and all that we get a change up. Now, unfortunately, there is a really large casualty here. Karin. Karin is a really big casualty here. So, because there's... Now, actually, that's not entirely true. Because Karin does have a healing factor, I believe. If I remember correctly, if she sucks on if someone sucks on her chakra, she can repair them and she can heal them. I actually don't know if it's the opposite way around. I don't think it is. I guess the question simply is, could Karin survive? Because Sakura's not there to heal her. It's actually a really good question. I didn't even consider that. About the healing factor. Because if she had a healing factor of her own, she could survive. Without any difficulty whatsoever. Now, she is an Uzumaki, so she's got a lot of stamina, vitality, and chakra. She could probably hold on till they get a basic medic there. As someone with, medical ninjutsu or just, medical training. I'll say this. I didn't consider... I thought she was going to be a casual, but she's got enough life force and could probably survive where... Well, at least long enough to get to maybe say... because they're in the land of iron right now. Maybe, and they don't have ninja, but they definitely can use chakra, so maybe there are medics in the land of iron. I mean, they'd have to be medics. They have to have some sort of medical facility. So maybe what happens is Karin is kind of left there as a prisoner of war kind of scenario, but she is left there. So I think that's the best way to even it out. However, you would still get now Sasuke doesn't try to kill Sakura. In fact, Sasuke probably more interacts with Kakashi more than anything else. And then Naruto shows up, and Naruto and Sasuke see each other after all this time. Sasuke, now I can't remember the dialogue per se in this scenario, this scene, because it's not a scene I generally cover, because usually nothing would change that much in it. But here we have one who's definitely in love with the other, but is also blinded by all their hate, aggression, all that, and the other who isn't sure about their feelings, but just needs to know. And so I actually see them having a brief clash here. Naruto is able to counteract Sasuke, who is going blind at this point, and they're going back and forth for a little bit. It's just like old times. Naruto again is right near her face, and he's feeling her presence, and just he's suddenly kind of getting a little like not foggy, but his mind is starting to wander as he realizes he's feeling something as they kick each other back and they're scoring off. No, it's Sasuke, please just and he he asks why he's doing this, and I do remember this is where Sasuke says, "I'm going to raise the leaf and it'll be the true resurrection of my clan." I was like, what? Pardon? Which is dumb, but whatever. Sasuke's heel turn is one of the biggest heel turns. I mean, it was we could see it all coming, but the heel turn is huge. It's arguably the most notorious heel turn in anime. And so Naruto says, no, there's more in the village than just that. There's Sakura, there's Kakashi, there's me. And this is what causes Sasuke to kind of stop laughing, and just she can barely see him, but she knows he's there. It's like, you, what about you? So and Naruto is just kind of holding his fist out a little bit, but he opens it. It's like, no, Sasuke, I want you back in the village because there's something I need to tell you, Sasuke. And Naruto's about to say those words. And it's like he realizes he loves Sasuke. For all you people who were getting concerned that I wasn't shipping them, I did actually think it was the right move in this version to ship them. But we'll expand on that later too, because there's a lavender-haired elephant in the room that we're going to have to address. Well, she's not lavender-haired, but a blue-haired, lavender-eyed individual we're going to have to address because she admitted she loved Naruto in the pain fight. This didn't change here, so how am I going to handle that? So anyways, and he's about to say before Obito basically steps in, because Obito is probably watching this and realizing, nope, can't have Sasuke knowing that. And Kakashi tries to come away, but he says that won't work on me, and they're out of there. And so then you would basically deal with not the aftermath, but most of the war would go almost exactly the same. Eventually, Karin does break out of prison. Suigetsu also breaks out. Eventually, they probably find where they need to go, or they meet up. Same with Jugo. They meet up. Karin's still not in a good way, but she's probably better off. As far as I know, Karin doesn't know medical ninjutsu during this time period. I'm pretty certain she does in Boruto, because she helped deliver Sarada. But again, with vitality and all that, with her vitality and all that, I imagine she should still be able to handle herself okay. She's probably, because again, enhanced recovery ability, and the war still took a little while to start. Either way, so obviously Sasuke gets her eternal Mangekyo. Naruto gets the Kurama chakra mode, and so really a lot of it goes the same. Sasuke. Really, you won't get any significant changes until you get even Karin coming back and helping, the Kages recover. You won't get any significant changes until you get to them fighting Jubito, and then Obidara, or Jubidara, sorry, or Madara. They'd be, Sasuke and Naruto, and they'll show back up on the battlefield. They're right. You ready to do this, Sasuke? I got something to tell you when it's all over. Save it for over the dead bodies, dweeb. And they kind of laugh. And I imagine there's a couple flirtatious comments here or there. Again, though, the fight would go down the same because we're really just focused on the battle. It isn't until after all is said and done, and then Sasuke's final heel turn, where Sasuke and Naruto finally square off. It's like, you remember this? This is called the Valley of the End, Naruto. something, it feels like we should have been, it feels like something should have happened, great should have happened here back when we were getting. But I guess we can make up for lost time. You're right. And there's something I need to tell you. You can save it for what it is. Save it for later. And they start their fight, and it goes back and forth as it does until finally Naruto just said, uh, until Sasuke has the, why can't you just give up on me, you idiot? And Naruto finally says, because I love you. And then and her eyes just go wide. It's like, you what? It's like it took me forever to realize it, but I love you, Sasuke. And Naruto and Sasuke's eyes just kind of go, that kind of like shadowing anime. You love me. And she kind of smiles. She laughs. But it's not a maniacal laugh, at least not at first. And this, and she's actually got some tears in her eyes. Like, the sad truth, Naruto? Is that I love you too. And finally all the story activates in her hands and like a blade forms. That's why you need to die! And that's one where it says, like, and that's why you need to die. So I can have nothing keeping me to this world anymore. And she's just fighting. Now she's fighting with tears. And Naruto, she said, no, I'm not going to stop because I love you. I love you, Sasuke Uchiha. Or Sasaki. Actually, Sasaki's a good name. Sasaki Uchiha. I didn't even think about that, but yeah, it's just, oh yeah, that's what I've been calling her. Sasaki. Says, I love you, Sasaki. It's basically the Goodwill Hunting scenario where it's like, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. Basically, you gotta keep just saying it to break through. And Sasuke is struggling even more and more, and finally, absorbs some of Naruto's chakra with the Nine Tails, gets a Chidori going. Naruto blasts her back, and I'm not gonna stop until I bring you home because you're not just my you're not just my best friend. I love you, and not just that, you're my best friend. And so let's just go home together. And you're gonna have to drag me back. And she, again, tears just keep coming. She can't stop it. Everything she's been holding in all these years is finally coming away. And they finally clash and they blow each other's arms off. And they're just struggling. And they have that conversation. And and Sasuke just, they're just lying there. And Sasuke's just like, when did you know? And it's like, well, you'll have to forgive me. I'm a bit of an idiot, but when I saw, over the years, I've been thinking about how I was going to bring you home, but then when I thought about it, I felt something else, didn't understand it. Then I saw you after the Kage summon, and that's just when it all clicked. Wow, you really are. Boys really you are slow to know. Well, Naruto's like, well, when did you know? When you saved me from Gaara. And the Kage, really, all that long ago? Why didn't you say anything? A hot girl wanting me back then? You kidding me? Oh, it's nice that you think I'm hot. Well, it's nice that a girl does like to be loved. You shut up, you. They try to move, and she just laughs. Because it hurts to laugh. You always were trying to catch up to me, weren't you? And then finally, I acknowledge you're this, and she kind of like is able to just barely get her head over there. And Naruto kind of falls into suit just a bit and say, I acknowledge you're stronger. You're the stronger one. And I was like, hey, you gave me a lot to work with and a lot to, live up to. And ironically, and they kind of like finally are able to lean it, and they have an awkward but true, legitimate, genuine kiss. Their first kiss is after they beat the shit out of each other, blew each other's arms off. Actually, I believe Sasuke is missing. Naruto's missing his right arm, if I'm not mistaken. Sasuke is missing his left. And it's because Naruto's right arm is the one that's got the bandages on it, which he always has on, by the way. I know, if I'm not mistaken, there was some like Hashirama cells that was used to help regrow them. But why does he actually keep the bandages on? I've actually never understood that. I'll look it up later. And then Sakura comes and she sees that, and she's like, oh, sorry, I'm interrupting something. It's like, I'd say yes, but I'd really like to be able to move on my own right now. It's like, shut up, both of you, just shut up. Actually, she probably is like, she starts healing them, and then she probably says, so did I miss something? It's like, shut up. And they all have a good laugh. And so Sasuke and Naruto are a thing. But here's the thing about that. Sasuke in the original does, go on a trip. Basically becomes the Shadow Hokage. It's Shadow Hokage. does a lot of traveling outside the village to make amends for things. That would make being a mother in this version very difficult. But I don't think it's impossible for Sasuke does that. And so I do think that Sasuke, at least in the early stages, like between the end of the series and near Boruto's era beginning, like when Boruto would have been born, Sasuke is out in the village. And Sasuke and Naruto, and she still obviously comes by. Naruto even goes out and, meets up with her occasionally, kind of having dates, whatever. But, like I said, the lavender-eyed elephant in the room is that you still get Naruto the last, which is canon, by all accounts. And Hinata's feelings for Naruto. And does Naruto get conflicted with that? And I think at first, yes, Naruto gets conflicted by that. Hinata knows that Naruto and Sasuke are together. But she still, obviously, she loves and cares about him. And then he sees the past image with Hinata, all that, and he's realizing she was there for him. But does he say, I love you, when he's with Sasuke? No, because Naruto's not a dick. And I'm not doing a Clan Restoration Act thing here. Which, by the way, isn't a real thing. Hold on. Clan Restoration... hold on. I want to double check on that. Clan Restoration Act. When a clan in custom of extinction, their last year is obligated to become a breeding factory, meaning in real... Okay. Naruto's I meet again chapter. Hold on. Is it or thing? Is it real? So here's the problem. Yeah, there's no evidence to suggest this is an actual real thing. This is just something that a lot of fans have kind of created to justify the idea of being able to restore a clan if you're the last of a clan. And so it was created similar to like Jiraiya having a spy network. It's a creation of the fandom, but it is believed to be like there's truth to be believed in it. There might be some level of evidence to back that up. There's no actual evidence to back that up because otherwise Sasuke would have been forced to take more than Sakura as his wife. So there's no Clan Restoration Act here. Look, I will say this as much for like multiple pairings and like having more than one partner. There are circumstances I could see where a character, usually it would probably be Naruto in this case, could have more than one girlfriend. I'm never going to like just change Naruto's sexuality and make him bi or gay because that's just, I don't see a reason for that, honestly, because then I'd actually have to change other characters' sexuality. And now I'm just making a weird fanfic about, gay Naruto, which there's nothing wrong with that. There's plenty of fanfics like that, but I'm not doing that. But I can see circumstances, not many, but it would really have to make sense for me for it to work. This is a circumstance where it could make sense, but I didn't go that route. I'm just saying for the future, it would have to take a very special circumstance for it to work here. This is, again, one of those circumstances where it could have worked. However, for a more let's call it realistic, more realistic / mature storyline, when it's all said and done and Naruto and Hinata are safe, Hinata and Naruto actually sit down and have a conversation. And Naruto says, I'm sorry, I didn't recognize your feelings back then. If I known, maybe it's like, and Hinata actually, Hinata's thankful for this. And she and she like holds her hand right and is about to stop him talking. It's like, Naruto, you saw me for who I am. It's like, I love you, but I want you to be happy more than anything else. Because that is true. That honestly, if Naruto had married Sakura, or again, Kubo had said it wouldn't have, Kishimoto said it would not have worked out. But if he had married Sakura or Tamara or whoever, Hinata probably just would have been happy for Naruto. And she would have most likely moved on. She wouldn't have been like a spinster or anything. She probably would have met someone else. Granted, her loyalty is probably arguably better than Sakura's, and her loyalty is probably a healthier version of Sakura's, granted, yes, she stalked Naruto, but there wasn't anything really crazy. She wasn't like spying on him in the bath or anything like that. She was just following him around occasionally, and it wasn't all the time either. Like it's not like he didn't have a moment's peace or anything. But point being, she basically said like, you saw me for who I am. The fact that you're kind enough to acknowledge my feelings on that level, I will never. I'm never gonna say you're not wrong for loving who you love, and I just want you to be happy. And I know you're happy with Sasuke, so please just live your life and be happy. And Naruto just says, and just looks at her, smiles like, "Thank you, Hinata." And he gives her a peck, and I think she gives him a peck on the cheek. And she definitely is sad, and he can see that. But he says, and try to, and look, I mean, they may not be me, but try to find. You're too good of a person not to have for your own happiness. Find someone who can love you the way I should have loved you back then. And she smiles at that. And so ultimately, how the pairings would ultimately end up, I do think Sakura probably hooks up with Lee at the end, because Lee is a good enough guy that I think that's where Metal comes from. And you give Metal, say, Tsunade level chakra control strength added on to Taijutsu. Oh, that's scary as F. Sasuke does ultimately come back to the Leaf, and she has to stay in the Leaf, unlike in the original, because she does have both Boruto and Sadara. And it would be Sadara here. It wouldn't be a Himawari. But I think it would still be Boruto. And the big difference, obviously, is that neither of them have the Byakugan. The reason for the Jogan is still unknown. It's probably unlikely that Boruto has the Jogan. It's believed it has something to do with the combination of Hinata's Hyuga DNA and I believe that it's believed to have a combination do with like the residual, was it Hamura chakra? It's 6 pass chakra in both Hinata and Naruto mixing together, plus Dojutsu. But you would still get, Sasuke, Boruto would still have probably fire jutsu instead of water jutsu, is what I'd be guessing. Because I believe Hinata has a lightning element, actually, a fire and a lightning element. So you'd actually have wind, fire, and lightning, which would be a cool pairing. Himawari, or Sadara, they would both still have the Sharingan at some point, which would make them very capable and powerful. And I could see way down the road, if they both end up activating their Mangekyous, that they might suggest, hey, look, how do you get an Eternal Mangekyo again? It's like, because we don't want to go blind. Well, there's this. And it's like, well, why don't we just trade eyes? Huh? Yeah, why don't we just trade eyes? She can get mine, I'll get hers. I guess that, because there's, again, in times of war, you obviously aren't thinking this shit through, and a lot of times the brother's dead when you take the eyes or something like that, but there is technically no reason that wouldn't work. You just swap eyes. You would just need someone to do the operation. But the last one would obviously be just Hinata. I said she'd probably get married to some just nice random OC character. But, be honest, she knows a nice guy. She knows not with anyone, and we know Kiba's kind of dating the cat girl, so and Shina's actually a very reasonable individual, I think. So, and he's soft, polite, all that. I could see, and being a school teacher, I think that works well with like Hinata's lifestyle. So I could actually see her and Shino maybe having one child. Shinowari, not Hinawari, Shinowari. Let's make it a daughter too. So it's a Hyuga Aburame mix. I will do a series on figuring out who the strongest combination of kids would have been. Because that's a lot of characters, you can make. So that's a series that can go on for a while. But I'm not going to do it until I actually have like a free week or something like that. Like I'm going to wait a little while. I'm not going to do it, for example, during a week of. I'm just too busy during those weeks. But otherwise, yeah, I think I'd do that. And I'm not going to get into Boruto. I don't bother talking about Boruto. I don't read Boruto. I keep up with Boruto, but I don't keep up with it in detail enough for me to do what ifs on it. Not that I think it would really change things drastically. Either way, that's that being said, I did realize they both have 6 pass chakra, Naruto and Sasuke. Ooh, That's a good question. Do either of them show any indication of the six pass chakra? Like I could see Sarada being the more inclined to be Kurama's next Jinchuriki. Maybe you could get like a early stage Rinnegan. Like maybe they're like the Rinnegan's just starting to kind of wake up and it's like only got a couple rings in it. I know that's not how the Rinnegan works per se, but I could still see it kind of working. Or at least aspects of a chakra cloak or something like that. Something. I don't know. Or maybe like one of the six pass techniques like Sasuke's teleportation technique, which I'm not going to bother trying to remember the name of that. That thing is a mouthful. Maybe that could be inherited by one of them. Anyway, I don't know. I'm spitballing at this point. That is the end of What If Sasuke Was a Girl. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'll put up the poll for Gar and the Leaf and Sakura going with Sasuke next time. So until then, thanks for watching, or later. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time.